Hello and welcome, fellow Pathfinders. My name is Deanne and welcome to the channel. Going to do a choice reading today. What Spirit wants you to know at this time? What's the most important message? Timestamps will be in the description, so you can pick one or more, whatever you're drawn to. I'm going to be using different tarot decks for each pile today. So I've already cleansed this space, so we'll just get right into pile one. Right, pile number one. You picked the Peacock Spirit to shape one's unique spiritual outlook and showcase a colourful future. Right, okay. So, showing off your feathers. You know, what is it that you've been doing? Hang on. Yeah. What I'm getting off this one is it's time to show your talents. It's time to release it. Whatever you've been working on, it's now time to show what you've been working on, you know, not hiding it anymore. That's what I'm getting. So, hang on. Right, okay. Pick some tarot cards. Don't know what I was getting there. Right, so, being your neat. Let's see what cards we get. Right, so we'll just start off with a few tarot cards and I might pull a couple of them ones, but we'll see where we go. Right, yes, so just check that you can see that, can you? I'm just going to put a bit of light on the situation actually, because it looks a bit dark now, doesn't it? It's gone a bit cloudy. Hang on 1 minute, sorry. Pile number one. Right, let's see, is that any better? It's a little bit better. Right, so new beginnings, birth, new ideas and creation. So this is what I was just saying, wasn't it? You know, what have you been working on that you've been keeping, you know, hidden? Or there's a new beautiful beginning here, as it says, you know, with this snake. Okay, what am I getting with that snake? Yeah, I'm getting with this snake that someone's bit like the snake, you know, it stays concealed, you know, to protect itself until it comes out for prey, or, you know, it'd rather be not seen, you know. Then we go the peacock to the snake. So this is giving me the vibes again of, you know, keeping something to yourself for a long time, and now Spirit's saying this is your time to sort of bring it out into the open and, you know, shine, show your peacock feathers, as it were, show the world what you're made of. Let's see what else we get. Yeah, the sun. Yeah, marriage, happiness and bright prospects. So, you know, if this was about marriage or relationships, that'll, you know, go well. Ooh, hang on. I'm getting, this might be for someone specific, but I'm getting, if you are getting married, hang on. Someone's going for a beautiful, elegant, unique wedding, I'm getting here, you know, with these two cards. Somewhat, the guests that, no, hang on, right, just give me 2 minutes. Yeah, what I'm getting is a partnership or a marriage, between two people. Bright prospects, new beginnings, birth, creation. So I'm also getting for someone, if you are getting married, if this is resonating, or some sort of partnership anyway, people will be talking or crowing about this event for a long time. Right, yeah. Right, so that's someone specific. Obviously, I don't think that everyone's getting married, but also this some sort of partnership or the coming together of something, in the broad sense, is you're going to make it a beautiful experience. Unique, colourful, bright, fresh ideas coming in. I've also right, bottom card as well. So I've got transformation. So I've got an ace, a sun, and a death card. The death card is simply the ending of something and the beginning of something new. If this was to do with some sort of relationship, that you've been struggling with, there's a new fresh beginning coming in with that one. Things are going to be different. You're different. You're a different person to what you were. Your outlook on everything is different. You've got a more colourful, bright outlook on stuff, so you're attracting different people. I've also got the star under here as well. So shining brightly. If this was to do with a career or some sort of business venture, I also get that as well very strongly, some new ideas coming in, some new creativity, some new a transition in something new, probably that you hadn't even thought about before. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't, depends where you're at. I'm also getting, though, if this is to do with someone else or, someone else has, been involved in this process, then give them due credit. Yeah. Yeah, give them due credit, what they deserve. It's a partnership. Right. So I've got fifth chakra, so that's your throat chakra. That's communication. Sorry, I was just getting something there. Yeah, communication with someone, opening up to new communications, maybe. Communicating what it is that you want or what you're trying to, manifest here. Happy families. Yes. So, right, let's just lay them up. Are you kidding me? Right, 2 suns in this reading and a star. Wow. Right, okay. So I've got some sort of communication. So if this was to do, what I'm coming back to is the relationship idea. Maybe the ending of one type of relationship doesn't have to be a romantic relationship, so take that as it resonates, but the ending of some sort of cycle, maybe it's to do with a partner that you've already got, someone in your life, but you've been having a few sticky issues, for example, or, with a family member, or, things just being a little bit sticky in the past. An open source of communication, can, sort that out. Also, I've got, if it was some sort of ending in a relationship and you're looking for something new, what I said before, you're not the same person anymore, so you're attracting different people. I've got happy families and appreciation, so in that scenario, I do feel that you'd be finding someone more suitable that appreciates you, that gets you, on that partnership level. Creating happy families, a lot of sunshine, that kind of energy. On a more broader sense, though, I do feel that the energies in this, you've got 2 sons, you've got happy families, you've got appreciation, new beginnings, transition, having a new outlook on stuff. So I think this is a lot to do, though, as well with, how you're viewing yourself. Yeah. Like a new outlook on yourself. You're starting to appreciate yourself a lot more. Therefore, other people are starting to appreciate you. Yeah. So all I'm coming back to here, if you are having any sort of issues or any, sticky patches, just communication. Open yourself, in whatever form. If you can't talk about it, maybe, you don't see that person anymore, or for whatever reason, I'm getting, write it in a letter and let it go. Yeah, write it all down, what you feel, what wasn't sorted, or, what's sort of, sticking with you there. Write it all down. You don't have to send the letter to the person, just as long as you get that off your chest. Right, okay, I don't know why I'm getting this, but if you were looking for someone new, if that's what it was about, I'm getting swimming with this card. Going swimming. Also, I'm seeing this sort of as Genie in the Lamp. This picture here, I don't know if you can see it here. I'm looking at. Wishes fulfilled. Yeah, but 2 sons in a reading. Wow, 2 sons, start and death. That's quite the reading. That, never mind the rest of the cards. Right, I'm just going to pick a couple more. Right, so is there any more messages, Spirit? Do you know what I'm getting? Hang on. I'm getting... Let's pick one of these ones. Where have they gone? Right, so I'm just going to pick one of these ones, Luminous Pathways, because I think there's a message in here somewhere. Pile number 1. Growth, strength, and connection to nature. Right, okay. Connection to nature. Right, okay, maybe taking yourself out into nature. Grounding yourself. I have got the beach here as well. I've also got, the woodland here as well. So maybe a walk in the woods, going swimming, or maybe swimming at the beach. Maybe going on a little family trip to the beach, maybe. But yeah, growth, strength, and connection to nature. Maybe someone feels more connected when they're in nature. I'm getting anything else? Right, okay. I'm getting someone's learning to play the trumpet, or there's something to do with the trumpet, or some sort of brass band, or I'm getting an image of like someone playing the trumpet or something in a brass band, or, right, take that as it resonates. I don't know why I'm getting that, but obviously it's meant for someone. Right, I'm just going to pull an angel number, and then we'll finish on an angel number. If you've been watching my readings, you know that I like an angel number to finish off on. Oh, right, okay. So if you're seeing this number, take special attention because it's Spirit trying to give you another message. If you feel like it, put in the comments where you got the number. Otherwise, just put the number if you want, if you can't think of anything to put. Right. 32. Spiritual expansion. Your spiritual journey is expanding. Embrace the learning and growth ahead. Well, you got growth there as well, didn't you? Right, pile number 1. That is your reading. If the other 2 didn't resonate with you, then hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Have a good day. Bye. Right, pile number 2. This is your reading. Right, so you chose Stardust Memories. You are made of stardust. Recall your... Excuse me, sorry. Recall your origins to find your soul's true home. Past life, soul journey, universal belonging. Right, okay. So I'll pick some tarot cards. So, Stardust Memories. Right, what I'm getting off this straight away is it is time. It is time. Time for what, Spirit? It is time to be the real you. Your authentic self. Okay, I'm going to say it's time to shine. Stardust, time to shine. I don't know what I'm getting there. Right, we'll pull some tarot cards if I can actually. Why are my cards upside down? Okay. Well, we'll read it as reverse because it came out that way, but I think no. Oh, wow. Okay. Right, pile number 2. We've got the King and Queen of Swords, but we've got the Queen in reverse. So, hang on, let me put my glasses on. Queen in reverse. Let me just... Right, straight away, I'm just going to... It's going to sound a bit weird, but I'm getting sticks of celery. Can you see here? They look like sticks of celery to me. I don't... Whether that's got some significance to someone, I have no idea. But I'm getting a stick of celery. Right, hang on 1 minute. I'm just... Yeah, I've got some sort of communication disturbance. Communication. Okay. What I'm getting off this one is, with it being in reversed, I don't normally read reversed, but as it came out in reversed, what I'm getting is some sort of stop in communication or some sort of grey area. A grey area in communication. Right, okay. I'll come back to that one. 8 of Wands is... Yeah, speed. Ah, right, okay. I'm getting some sort of communication error between 2 people. I'm getting some sort of couple, with it being the Queen and King of Swords. She's got her back to him. He's just sat there like, you know. Sorry, just give me a second. I'm just getting some sort of... Yeah, okay. Right, okay. So I'm getting some sort of communication error or breakdown. I said romantic couple because, you know, obviously we've got the King and Queen of Swords, but it doesn't have to be. It could just be... I'm getting... intellectually... Right, I'll tell you what I'm getting. I'm getting some sort of past... There's been a miscommunication somewhere, but I don't know whether it's to do with another person or whether it's actually you. I'm getting... You viewed yourself one way for a long time, or others have viewed you for a long time, you know, as being, you know, one way. And I'm getting some sort of action has created a reaction. Yeah. Not feeling valued in a certain space, not feeling like you weren't good enough for something. It's brought miscommunications with another person is what I'm getting. Although I see you taking action to rectify that situation or attempting to take action. I also get someone being stubborn in a situation as well, you know, not seeing, you know, sticking to the guns sort of thing, which is making things a bit... This could also be you, though, you know, sticking to your guns, even though you know it's, you know, sticking to your patterns, even though you know they're not right for you. Or also what I'm getting is trying to change something, but feeling like you're just getting thrown back in, you know, like 2 steps forward, 3 steps back sort of energy. I feel like there has been miscommunication on someone's part, although I'm getting strongly that someone's trying to work through this and bring some sort of harmony back. Right, okay, let's pull a couple of these ones. Yeah, caring connections. So I just keep getting here, you know, someone's felt undervalued. It could be you, it could be another person, you know, take it as it resonates, whichever way around. This card, obviously, that we pulled, though, is about you. You know, what are you made of? Remember what you're made of. I also feel that someone's trying to go back to the way things were. I'm getting the energy here, though. You don't view yourself the way that you used to. Or there's some sort of energy change that's taken place. You know, some sort of remembrance. Authenticity. That's what I was getting before, wasn't it? Authentic self. Yeah. Someone's trying to be... as I said, you know, take this either way. But I'm getting trying to be authentic, and someone trying, or people or situations trying to go back to the way things were, which makes you uncomfortable. Yeah, it's giving someone anxiety. Right, okay. Some sort of anxiety with it. And some sort of action. So action twice. So some sort of action is needed, whatever form that takes, It could be as simple as talking things through with someone. It could be, right, okay. What I've got is you have decided to take action. That has been the issue. You don't want to be someone that's not true to themselves any longer. I also get it's causing a lot of upheaval because everybody's so, including yourself probably as well, everyone's so used to you being a certain way. Now, as I said, you can reverse this as well. This could be someone else being, different. All I keep getting is, as long as you're true to yourself, then everything will work out. Speak your truth, walk your truth, be your truth. Yeah, woman holding a coin. Stand in your own power. Yeah. Whatever that may mean. If something's true to you and you know it to be true, whatever that is, then stand by that. I'm also getting them, someone from the past has had some sort of hold. Now, this could be your past self, it could be someone else, it could be, a situation or a thought pattern, but having, some sort of hold. Right, I'm just going to pull one more. No. Yeah. That person or that situation has had that hold until recently. Someone's decided to take action instead of feeling the anxiety about it for a more caring connection with someone. I do feel that there has been arguments, maybe, some crosswords, maybe, silence, not talking, some sort of grey area. I do feel, though, that you hold that power now. You're feeling more powerful about the situation. Standing in your own truth and you're listening to your own intuition. Or that's the sort of energy that I'm, it's flowing here. Yeah. Remember who you are. That's what I keep getting. Remember who you are. And you can't go wrong. Remember what's important to you. Sorry if you can hear my belly rumbling. I'm on a fast, so I haven't had anything to eat, so my belly's a bit rumbly, so sorry about that. Yeah, some sort of action. Right, well, I'm going to leave that there, and I'm going to, because I'm not actually getting anything else, it's just repeating the same thing to me. I'm going to pull one of these cards here. Yeah, I just keep getting, be your true, authentic self. You know who you are. You know who you are. Summer solstice, celebration, abundance and vitality. Yeah. So, also, I get a lot of, with this card and this card as well, and this woman holding a coin, I'm getting a lot of caring connections coming in. You know, people that you can relate to, sort of situations that you can relate to. You know, the more that you are your true self, the right people and the right situations come in. I've got summer solstice here, so if that resonates with you, a lot of celebrations, a lot of abundance and vitality. I also get a lot of interesting new ideas and situations coming in by next summer, depending obviously when you're viewing this video, but yeah, take that as it resonates. But I don't know whether you can see that card, can you? There's all these people around and everything, you know. Maybe you go into a celebration, you know, maybe say yes to a celebration, you know, if you get offered to go to one, if it feels right. Right, so I'd also get that you're going to be finding a lot more to celebrate about, you know, a lot more celebrations coming in. So I'm just going to finish off on an angel number. So if you've viewed me before, you'll know that I like to, you know, if you're getting this angel number, then, you know, keep special attention because it's an extra message from spirit. If you got it somewhere that resonated, put in the comments where you got it. I'd love to hear about it. If not, just put the number if you don't know what else to put. Yeah. 666. Balance and harmony. Seek balance and harmony in all aspects of your life. It will lead to peace and success. Yeah. So that's kind of what we were saying before, you know, going back to the past and then, you know, balancing that up. You know, being true to yourself will bring in more balance. Especially if you've had a bit of a turbulent time, you know, with other people or, you know, anxiety and stuff. Right, well, thank you for viewing me today, pile number 2. If you didn't get anything out of the other 2, then hopefully I shall see you on the next one. Bye. Hello and welcome, pile number 3. This is your reading. I'm just going to cleanse this a little bit. Feel the need to just do another cleanse. If you're interested, I'm using these sticks from Mark by Erskine. Brilliant they are. Love them. Smell really nice as well. Right. Oh, just pop that in there. Right, pile number 3. Let's get into your reading. So you pick this one. Hathor Intelligence. Right, okay. Whenever I see this card always reminds me of go straight to the source. I don't know whether you can see in there. Yeah, I like to think of it as drinking the milk straight through from source, do you know what I mean? Right, so intelligence. So as I said, straight to the source I'm getting on this one. Start off with. What else was getting there? Food bowl. Food bowl. Right, okay, we'll come back to that. Ooh. Lots of choices. Okay. Let's pick one more. Right, okay, pile number 3. So what I'm getting off this straight away is you've got plenty of choices. to be making fresh perspectives. As this says intelligence, I'm going to say using your intelligence, as in, when I say intelligence, I don't think this card just literally means, using your brain, intelligence. I think this card speaks of like using your body, your spirit, your whole intelligence, including intuition, feeling it in your belly. As you've got 2 decision cards here as well. Well, you've got this one here, making a decision. Now, I always view this card as, do you stay submissive, or is the word submissive? It's, can't frame of mind of like, oh, I give in, I'm just going to go along with it, yeah. Or this one here, where she's thrown her arms back, she's like, right, so I'm just going to go for it, But this little man here, I don't know whether you can see him, can you? This little man here is sat there and he's like, which way do I go? So options. I'd say with that one, use your, as I was saying before, go straight to the source. So if you've got a question in mind, and you don't know which way to go on it, maybe go to that source of that question. For an example, sorry, I just get comfy. For an example, are you questioning, say 2 different relationships? Do I go this, into this relationship, or do I go into this relationship? Well, first of all, you'd go and, maybe go on a date, with both people. Yeah, and then maybe decide, which one you're more drawn to. That kind of, who makes your heart flutter, or maybe neither one of them do, that kind of things. But if you didn't go on them 2 dates in the first place, you wouldn't know either way, would you? Yeah, that kind of energy. Or, if it was a job, maybe you've got 2, 3 job interviews. In order to know which one's right for you there, you'd have to go to all 3 job interviews. So using your discernment and intelligence. Oh, I'm so sorry, my belly's rumbling. If it starts rumbling through this, I apologise. Right, with this one, it's like 2 people going, or 2 different decisions leading you different ways, which is the same as this card, really, the deciding factor. With this one, it says science, so that goes back to me to, the same thing, intelligence, science being the, it's like doing 2 experiments to see which one works, that type of thing. Do that in science, don't you? You get like an experiment set up, and if it has the same information right the way through it, then you go with that information, that's the outcome, that kind of energy. Also, I've got fresh perspectives on things here, you're in your hot air balloon up here, looking down, you can see a lot more around you. So, yeah. So what is it you're trying to achieve? What you're going after in this respect? Making them decisions is, using your own intelligence, everything you've got to offer, to make that decision, to make the right decision. And right decision as in right decision for you. Not, nothing's wrong or right. It's what's right for you. Or even what's wrong with you, wrong for you. Free will. What did I just say there? Right, storm warning. Right, so with this card, I get the sort of impression that, There's a few uncertainties around you at the minute. This is why you're making these decisions. With this one, I'm getting more be the calm in the storm. For someone in particular, I'm getting, do you make this decision here to be like, shouty and, losing yourself in that storm or storm of other people? Or do you make that decision that you're going to be in the eye of the storm, calm, grounded? Caring connections. Right, I got this card in the last reading as well, so if it resonates, go back to number 2. But yeah, caring connections. So right, so what I'm going to say with this one, or what I'm getting off it anyway, is number 5, a change. You've also got 10, so that's 2 5s going into change. Right, with this, I'm sort of getting some sort of stormy weather, as I just said before, with some sort of connections with people. Yeah, so that one again, I'm going back into using your own intelligence, discernment, decision making. Going back to that example before about going on the dates, maybe as well, because that's coming back up in my, in my energy is, an example. So if you've always been with partners that create chaos in your life, storm warning, maybe look at dating people that are sort of different to what you would normally date, not going after the same, sort of energy because you're drawn to it, drawn to that chaos, maybe. That's an example, I'm not saying that's, or, maybe, fresh perspectives, you've been always drawn to a certain way of dealing with things, and now you're sort of using your discernment and your intelligence to, like I said before, going straight to the source and sort of like finding out why that makes you feel that way, or what triggers you, or, like making better decisions. What is it that, do you want that chaos in your life anymore? Do you want to do things a different way? That type of energy. And sometimes as well, stepping out your comfort zone, and doing new things brings in new possibilities. So, yeah, the garden and the gate. Right, so this is sort of all playing in with me anyway. This is what I'm getting. You might get something totally different off these cards, when you're looking at them, and I do encourage you to use your own intuition with that. And that, if you did get something different, put in the comments what, you got off that. But with this one, I'm going back to that example again, walking through that gate. Once your garden is nurtured, yeah, or are the people or situations in your life nurturing your garden? Yeah. If not, walking away from it. Yeah. The type of energy, I'm not dealing with that chaos anymore. I've had enough of that sort of chaos that comes with that. I want a more peaceful environment. I'm nurturing myself first, and then, approaching other energies, environments, people, in a more relaxed way, a more nurtured way. This will also bring more confidence in what sort of decisions you're making. If you're nurtured first, what is it that you want first? Not just for yourself, but for that other people that you do bring into your life. If you know what you're all about and nurtured, then, you're more appealing, to situations and other people. You have a different outlook. Any more on that, Spirit? Broken heart. Yeah. So to save your heart getting broken, or maybe this is how you're feeling at the moment for someone, you know, broken heart, nothing, you know, the decisions that you make aren't right, you always make the wrong decisions, you know, there's loads of storms in your life. Having that fresh perspective there, like I said before, of nurturing yourself, you know, and making decisions with, you know, not just your head, but with your heart, with your, you know, your belly, with your, you know, does your body feel in sync with this decision that you've made? Yeah. Not just feeling like, oh, this will benefit me because type of energy, but, you know, getting to the root of the source. This is what we started off with in the beginning, wasn't it? Going straight to the source. Yeah, I'm finding that more. Caring for yourself is top priority. Yeah. Nurturing yourself, top priority. Before anybody or any, you know, thing comes in. I think this is your top priority right now. Right, so I'm going to pull one of these ones. Trust the science. Okay, trust the science. Whatever that means for you. See what else I'm getting as well. Trust the alchemical force. That is a better way of wording it, actually. If this was to do with a relationship or, you know, people, trust the alchemical force inside you. And you can't go wrong. Yep. Phoenix. Renewal, resilience, and rebirth. Yeah. Rising like the phoenix. Right, so I'm going to pull an angel number. Those of you watching this channel before will know that I like these angel numbers, and I always say take special attention because this will be an extra message from Spirit. If you do get a message that relates or anything, put in the comments with the number. If you don't know what to put, just put the number. Right, pile number 3. I'm going to say you got this card from pile number 2 and you got the same number as pile number 1. So if them two piles resonated but you chose this one, then maybe go back and view them because there might be something else in that, you know, another message in them readings. It might all go into each other. Right, so 32, spiritual expansion. Your spiritual journey is expanding. Embrace the learning and growth ahead. Yeah. Right, pile number 3. So I'm going to leave it there today. I hope you got something out of that. If you did, leave a comment or a like. And hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Have a good day. Bye.